Welcome everybody to our second last round of Division 1 action here between Dylan Magika and John Harmon. This is our first look at the new cards that we're going to see. So you can see Dylan here, he's taking the opportunity straight up to get some of these in. Two Watery Graves, four of a starting six are from the new set. Life total is obviously very different heading into this. Life totals, points totals. Dylan starting to get some momentum towards a finals push. John struggling in his first season in Division 1. So here's a new card here, Thought Erasure. Target opponent rolls a hand, choose an online card, and they discard it, and you surveil one. Surveil means you look at the top card. It's like scribe it instead of put it on the bottom. You can put it in your grave. We're going to look at a few new cards here. And so for some unknown reason, John looks like he kept a no-lander. I'm not sure why you do that. So here's a second new card, Disinformation Campaign. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Each opponent discards a card, and whenever you surveil, return it to its hand. So if you're playing a surveil deck, you're obviously going to be bouncing cards left and bouncing Disinformation left and right, so you can strip the hand pretty quickly. So he's going to play a second one here. He's just saying in chat there that John actually went to 5 and he didn't want to go down to 4. As I was saying, his score of 20, it's his first season in Division 1. Here's another Thought Erase. So the hand is just getting wiped out. His first season in Division 1 and struggling. He's currently setting a record. He's only got 1 point in Modern for the entire season. So here's the big one. This is the $20 card, $15-$20 card, Doom Whisperer. Flying Trample 6/6, pay 2 life, surveil 2. So if you can get this to resolve and untap, you can just keep surveilling until you find an answer to something. So you play blue-black, have counter spells, and keep surveilling until you can protect it. Apology. It's very hot here, so I've got the fan going. That might be the buzz that you might be able to hear in the background as well. Sorry, I tried to do the last game without the fan, but it's just too hot. Yeah, I think John... Okay, here's Playcrafter. So here's another new card. It's basically Merciless Executioner. Each player... But except this is a better Merciless Executioner because it can make them sack a... Planeswalker as well. But this is pretty quickly going bad for John. I think you've got to play Disinformation Campaign first and then Thought Eraser so you can bounce it, but he's not going to do that. Yeah, John has seen enough. No cards in hand. And he plays his own new card, the Overgrown Tomb. So Duration from the sideboard, you can see Sinister Sabotage is the new 3-mana counterspell. That's what he takes. I think I would have taken Argyl's Bloodfast there, because it's going to generate constant card advantage for Dylan. So he's starting to get some cards together. So here's his first bit of card advantage. So Thought Erasure probably coming here so we can see what's going on. John with 3 lands, so he can at least get something going. Hopefully we can see some new cards from him. What do you take here? I think he's going to take the removal spell, Assassin's Trophy. I don't really need to pop that one up. Everyone knows what that is. But that's a whole hand of new cards. Every single card in hand is a new one. Golgari, Find Broker, and Molder Hulk, and Vraska. 4-mana Vraska. And one of those is down. Disinformation Campaign doing some serious work here. So here's another new card, Discovery Dispersal. We'll just bring that up. So surveil 2, then draw a card, and each opponent returns a non-land permanent with the highest converted mana cost is a flashback. Okay, Golgari, Find Broker. So we're going to get to see a new card. Return permanent from graveyard to your hand. Not really that fantastic, actually. If there's fetches, I guess you could get yourself a land for it. These cards just keep coming, these disinformation campaigns. You can see he's got the Sinister Sabotage, so when he counters something, he's going to surveil and get that disinformation campaign back. So very difficult here to battle through this. See if he's going to go for Vraska here. He is going to go for Vraska. So this is the new Vraska, the Golgari Queen, which doesn't resolve. I'm just reading the novels, or whatever you call them, the stories that come out each week, and I'm up to Ixalan, and Nicol Bolas has promised the leadership of the Golgari. So here's an answer to Doom Whisperer, so Plaguecrafter will take down that Doom Whisperer. Dylan did have the option there to surveil if he wanted to find a counterspell, but you can see he's got 2 more Doom Whisperers, so he doesn't really need to. So many cards in hand. First he's going to check that the coast is clear. Journey to Eternity. Ravenous Chupacabra. So John now down to 1 card in hand. Now he's down to no cards in hand. 2, 4, 6 cards in hand for Dylan. But I must say this Surveil deck, because here's the Golgari Queen finally. You can sacrifice a permanent, you gain a life and draw a card, meh. Or -3 destroy target non-land permanent, which is what the other Vraska did as well. I bet that's a converted mana cost 3 or less. The ultimate though, nothing to sneeze at. So Chupacabra here, Dylan at 5. Yeah, I was about to say this, it does look pretty impressive, this blue-black surveillance deck. Just a land, and this is looking very bad for John now. You can just see, look at the card advantage he's generating. I'm pretty impressed with some of the new decks that I've seen, actually. But still with 1 card, and John I think is going to just be amazed if he gets to keep this card, but he's probably not, because Dylan's going to surveil here, so get back a disinformation campaign. Ritual of Soot is not needed. Yeah, so Doom Whisperer can just keep bouncing that disinformation campaign to draw a card every single turn. I think this is kind of a lock. He can't get out of this. It's a 2-turn clock. Dream Eater's going to make it lethal, so it's a no-turn clock. There's the Dream Eater. When it enters the battlefield, Surveil 4, return target permanent to its owner's hand or flash, and of course that's going to be lethal on board. So Dylan takes down standard 2 games to 0. I'm just going to run through the motions here, it looks like. And a lethal swing, so we're going to modern. A pretty convincing victory there. Dylan has changed decks. Some sort of blue-black, what's that thing called? Shelldock Isle, looks like he's up against Mill. Blue-black, Lantern Control. The Codex Shredder, the giveaway there. Okay, so Hideaway on the Shelldock Isle. And Dylan now going to know exactly what's going on. What do you take? He's going to take the Hedron Crab. He's got no creature removal, so that's probably the wise choice. So here comes the mill. Here comes the mill. Crypt Incursion you'd think would be going out pretty quickly. As I mentioned previously, John with only 1 point all season. Is he going to fire off this surgical right here? Fires it off in the draw step. The reason you do this in the draw step is in case he just drew another card that you want to take. It basically robs him of an extra card. Just has a quick look down, so no break-in entering. Yeah, I'll glimpse the unthinkable. So he's still got 31 cards. So, but both of these decks basically trying to do the same thing. They're trying to mill the other person out. What do you name with Pith Needle? Okay, Shelldock Isle. So there won't be any flipping of the Shelldock. And that's game. Witchbane Orb is basically the poor man's Leyline of Sanctity. Mill deck plays. This deck plays it because it can't get white. But he can't flip his Shelldock, and he can't target with the spells, so he can't win. Yeah, and we're going to game 2. Oh, there's a Leyline of Sanctity in the opening hand. I think you keep this one. Yep, and I think that's it. John will stay on 1 point in Modern. These decks, these mill decks are super flimsy to Leyline. But Leyline sort of comes and goes from Modern. It's popular at one time and then disappears. Okay, now he's going to work with perfect information. So you can see he drew a Witchbane Orb. I think Dylan's got to pay 1 to sack that Lantern because he doesn't. I'm sorry, Mesmeric Orb. This is one way to get around Leyline. Hedron Crab is coming. Not sure why he doesn't want to fire off his Thoughtseize there. Okay, set adrift, so there's an answer to Leyline. This might actually make him sack that Lantern. Wait, did he just draw that, or did he have it in hand? He must have had it in hand, perhaps? Yeah, so Leyline is down, so he can actually recast it with Glimmervoid and Spear of Industry if he wanted to. And here's Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus, the man that people have forever been trying to get to work in Modern, but just never really takes off. But I think this 5/5 Lantern might just be too fast for the burn deck. 3-turn clock. Oh no, I keep calling it burn, sorry, mill. But that Mesmeric Orb is nothing to sneeze at. He might want... He's going to take Welding Jar. You can see the Maelstrom Pulse there. I'm sure he wants the Maelstrom Pulse, but he can't take it with that Ancient Stirrings. Okay, so here comes Leyline. Mesmeric Orb is going to do 2, 4, 6 cards next turn. You can see he's at 29. Leyline is a bit of a nuisance. Mind Funeral coming next is not going to work. Of course, 6 cards a turn is not going to win him the match because Lantern of Insight is going to kill him in 2 turns. Oh, actually he's dead because Tezzeret can just minus here. And so a very quick a 2-0 victory for Dylan in Modern. So, oh no, there's a delay here. There's a darkness. What does that do? I got no idea. He delays a turn. But that's it. 2-0 to Dylan, so still stranded on 1 point for John. And now for blue-black Omnishow. What's going on there? A no-lander, is that dredge? We're about to find out. Cycles a street wraith. Yeah, manaless dredge on the other side. What does he take here? I didn't even know. I don't really understand this. I mean, I understand dredge, but I don't know how to play against it in Legacy. So he's dredging cards of Phantasmagorium. I'm going to skip ahead because I just don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to sit here staring blankly at this game. So enormous. What is Limdal's Vault? Oh, this is the one where pay 1 life, look at cards. So he's going to just keep digging until he finds a show and tell, I believe. He still needs something with the omniscience though, omniscience or whatever you want to call it. 6, 8, 10, 11 damage on what because he's facing lethal next turn. Is he going to get out of this? Firemind's research. He can just keep playing these cards until he finds something because he's not paying anything of omniscience. Limdal's Vault is going to enable him to just keep to find the Emrakul. Yeah, so now he can brainstorm to get it. Release the Ants. I don't know what that card does. So he's got okay. So this causes a fight each turn. He's got Emrakul on the top, so he's just going to keep winning here. Nothing beats Emrakul. Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead because I don't really understand. A Leyline of the Void has come in. But getting toward the end of the match here, you can see it's pretty inevitable now for 15-15 Emrakul on board. And down to 16. So, unfortunately for John, he can't pick up any points. But for Dylan, he marches on and gives himself the best chance at a final showdown. There's just a swing. The little 1/1's not going to do it, and that's a pretty comprehensive victory for Dylan. 12 points to 0.